Amphibians are known as biological indicators. With their porous skin, they're more susceptible to pollutants and environmental dangers such as chemicals or water that might be subpar. So if we look at these biological indicators, if we look at amphibians that are typically very healthy and they start to decline, that can tell us a big red flag to where we might need to step into the environment, help clean something up, or to alter our policies. My name is Jennifer Garcia. I am the Education Program Coordinator at the Greenville Zoo. Citizen science is where we, as the science community, enlist the eyes and the ears of those who live in our communities. Frogwatch USA is one of the flagship citizen science programs of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, or AZA. And AZA helped to start this Frogwatch citizen science so that we can monitor the breeding habits of anurans, which are frogs and toads.
My name is Sonya Dunham, and I am a frog watcher in Greenville, South Carolina, and I do it with my daughter Elsa, my 10-year-old daughter. So to monitor frogs with Frogwatch in the Greenville area, we had the initial training and orientation. So the training involved kind of two components. One was in a classroom where they explained what the program was, give some examples and some pictures of the different species we'd be monitoring for and how actually the data collection happens.
My name is Barbara Foster. I'm the reptile curator at the Greenville Zoo in Greenville, South Carolina. So after the training, then of course people will need to practice listening to the frog calls themselves, and also they have that opportunity to come out here to Lake Conisty once a week from February through August and have a chance to practice listening to the frog calls with someone who knows what they're hearing. Our chapter has contributed so far 7 years of data at 2 sites here at Lake Conisty.
So both of the sites at Lake Conisty have in common that it is a wetland area and that they are in the same kind of larger ecosystem within the park here. When we go to monitor frogs, it's usually a group of us, sometimes a small group, sometimes maybe a little larger. So in the field during a monitoring session, we try to arrive at the site about 30 minutes after sunset. And we make sure our bag is packed with some data sheets, with a pen, a little thermometer so we can measure the temperature while we're out, and a good flashlight. So we only monitor when the conditions are good for frogs, basically. So we want to wait till it is 35 degrees minimum. So if it's any colder, we don't monitor. We also take a note of the Beaufort scale, the Beaufort wind scale, and that's a scale about how windy it is. We follow a procedure where for 2 minutes, we need everything to be quiet. And if anything interrupts that silence, we have to stop and start the 2 minutes over again. Then we monitor for 3 minutes. And basically we cup our hands around our ears so we can listen a little better because that helps with the acoustics. We stay quiet and just really listen and pay attention to any of the frog calls we might be hearing. So telling the difference between the different frogs based on their calls was a little tricky at first, but the more we've practiced it, the easier and easier it's become to identify them. And so my daughter and I, we've made little mental pictures of what we think each frog sounds like. So the spring peepers are pretty easy. They're just a beep, 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 like a literal peep. As soon as that 3 minutes is over, then we whip out our flashlights and record everything that we heard.
What species did you guys hear?
Spring peepers, okay.
The different species, and there's a scale about how many, if it was just one individual or a full chorus.
Frogwatch USA has a big impact on the overall knowledge that we have for amphibians, and especially their patterns of decline. With their range map, where they typically live, we have seen shifts within those range maps within the past 20 years. And in fact, a local Frogwatch chapter was able to alert the city government on a sewage leak because they were looking at water quality with that Adopt a Stream, and they were noticing that there weren't frogs, and well, let's test the water, and they told the local government, and they were able to clean up. So little steps like that make a big impact.
I would definitely recommend other families to join the Frogwatch program.
And it's a very easy process, so it's something that everybody can get in part of, kindergartners to senior citizens.
I feel very strongly that I have performed my purpose in life. I hope that I'm passing the concern I have for the animals and the environment on to future generations.